If you are never alone, you cannot know yourself. Life sometimes separates people so that they can realize how much they mean to each other. Wisdom is the right use of knowledge. To know is not to be wise. Many men know a great deal and are all the greater fools for it. There is no fool so great a fool as a knowing fool. But to know how to use knowledge is to have wisdom. We humans have two great problems. The first is knowing when to begin. The second is knowing when to stop. Limitation in the possibility of enjoyment raises the value of the enjoyment. No mortal is capable of keeping a secret. If his lips are silent, his fingertips speak. The trail oozes from him through every pore. One of the fastest ways to improve your life is to simply do what you said you were going to do. Your future self is watching you through your memories. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. The limits of the possible can only be defined by going beyond them into the impossible. The wisdom of the wise and the experience of the ages are perpetuated by quotations. There are two ways of spreading light, to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. Everyone seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, but none about his or her own. Close doors not because of pride, incapacity, or arrogance, but simply because they no longer lead somewhere. A busy man is seldom visited by idle friends. No flies fly to a boiling thought. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. All we are is the result of all we have fought. The task ahead of you is never greater than the strength within you. The time you kill does not die without avenging itself. True wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. When proven wrong, the wise man will correct himself, and the ignorant will keep arguing. Forgive but do not forget, or you will be hurt again. Forgetting loses the lesson. Life always waits for some crisis to occur before revealing itself at its most brilliant. Depression is a frozen fear. The first indication of stupidity is a complete lack of shame. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, just surrounded by negative people. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. Adversity introduces a man to himself. If the path is beautiful, let us not ask where it leads. An optimist is a person who sees a green light everywhere, while a pessimist sees only the red stoplight. The smallest deed is better than the greatest intention. If you think adventure is dangerous, try routine. It is lethal. Love is a trap. When it appears, we see only its light, not its shadow. The more perfect the person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. The future is always beginning now. The reading of all good books is like a conversation with the finest minds of past centuries. Better be wise by the misfortunes of others than by your own. If you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello. Haters are confused admirers who can't understand why everybody else likes you. Most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. The best is always the enemy of the good. Don't carry your mistakes around with you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as stepping stones to rise above them. Folks are usually about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I'm changing myself. The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them. When you repeat a mistake, it is not a mistake anymore, it is a decision. Being human means having doubts and yet still continuing on your path. From error to error, one discovers the entire truth. When one does not have what one wants, one must want what one has. If youth knew, if age could. Your greatest self has been waiting your whole life. Don't make it wait any longer. One secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes. There is meaning in every journey that is unknown to the traveler. A single conversation across the table with a wise man is better than 10 years mere study of books. Speak only if it improves upon the silence. When you know better, you do better. At some point you have to divorce yourself from doing the things that other people want from you. The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. It's always too early to quit. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by a dogma which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. In the end, everything will be okay. If it's not okay, it's not yet the end. If it makes you nervous, you're doing it right. What a wonderful thought it is that some of the best days of our lives haven't happened yet. There is only one thing more painful than learning from experience, and that is not learning from experience. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or step back into safety. The trouble is, if you don't risk anything, you risk more. Hope itself is like a star not to be seen in the sunshine of prosperity, and only to be discovered in the night of adversity. If you hate starting over, stop quitting. Whatever the mind can think and perceive, it can achieve. If you want to achieve greatness, stop asking permission. You can't turn back the clock, but you can wind it up again. One finds limits by pushing them. The past cannot be changed. The future is yet in your power. Growing up is losing some illusions in order to acquire others. You are always one decision away from a totally different life. You cannot find peace by avoiding life. No amount of regretting can change the past, and no amount of worrying can change the future. The bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. Your life is your story. Write well, edit often. People don't resist change. They resist being changed. If you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. If you wait for something, all that happens is that you get older. The only place where your dream becomes impossible is in your own thinking. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. We are all faced with a series of great opportunities, brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. You can waste your lives drawing lines, or you can live your life crossing them. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with the best you have to give. Just because your path is different from others doesn't mean you're lost. Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. Maturity is when you stop complaining and making excuses and start making changes. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. No matter how much suffering he went through, he never wanted to let go of those memories. Although the world is full of suffering, it is full also of the overcoming of it. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. Tell the truth or someone will tell it for you.